Yeah, so we were just talking about you getting started with jiu-jitsu and how it's helping you with your striking. I'm curious about that. How is it like helping you with your striking?
Um, because a lot of the concepts are the same, you know. As far as jujitsu or grappling, uh, Darren, Adam, Piccolotti, and Alex. These are the three guys. Alex is more wrestling, but it's still, I just consider it all grappling.
Yeah.
Um, the whenever these guys are masters in their craft, and uh, whenever they try to explain something to me, they relate it to striking somehow, you know, and which makes complete sense. A lot of the concepts are the same as far as angles and controlling the space and positioning and stuff like that. That it's actually opened my mind to try uh, certain things in striking. Just little things here and there, uh, like framing, for example. Framing, framing on a body where you're trying to uh, push them off you or to gain control, right? We frame our arms because it's at a certain degree because it's the most uh, stable structure that we can build, right? If it's too far in, I'll be crashed. If it's too far out, I'll be pulled. So I've been trying to find that frame and like punch with my frame. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A long time ago, Damian Trainer, when he came down, he was working on me about punching with your frame, and I never quite understood what it meant. You know,
Hmm.
and once it was mentioned in grappling, I kind of put like two and two together, and it certainly made my punches a lot more effective. Damian Trainer, he's a small guy, but he hits like a heavyweight.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, and I've always wondered, how does someone generate so much power, of his size? It's just with proper structure and frame. And I'm learning all that from grappling.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because when I roll in jiu-jitsu, I notice a lot of guys they use their shins on me, and because my shins are a little bit more conditioned, I'm able
Yeah,
to like rub it against their shin and like hurt them a
yeah,
little bit. So it's just I'm using Muay Thai against the jiu-jitsu grappler, so it's just
yeah.
funny. That's why
That's
I was
dope.
asking. I was curious because I'm doing the same. I'm kind of figuring the same thing out, and
Yeah,
I'm trying to blend things out that I'm understanding.
yeah. And just
Uh,
not, not trying not to try too hard.
yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
With some things, it's just like you got to figure it out by. Well, I had to figure it out by experience and just repetition. I can sit here and be like, okay, so at this point, I got to put pressure here and roll this way and put my hip up, but then it's like, all right, just do it,
Yeah. You when you my brain is like scattered all over the place with questions now. But I want to point this one out, I guess. Because I watched a couple of your fights, and one of them, you're talking about framing. I noticed you were framing a lot. I forget his name. Was it your recent fight? You pretty much cut him open. You cut him open or whatever. I think his name is Jersey. His nickname.
Oh no, that wasn't a recent fight, but yeah, I remember that fight
Okay,
with.
yeah. Hey, my
Yeah,
bad. I suck with like trying to watch a lot of fights. I watch so many fights and I get scattered. But
oh, that's good. I'm the same
yeah.
way, man.
So I saw you were framing a lot. Is that something you've been doing because of jujitsu, or is that you've been doing that anyway? In
uh,
your other fights.
I've probably been doing it, but not really conscious.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Quite
yeah,
conscious about it. Obviously, I was doing it for a purpose. I never do nothing just because, everything has its purpose. Sometimes we do things uh, that we don't know that we're doing, but it's working. We can't explain why it works. We can't explain why we do what we do, but it's just something that comes natural. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
I see a lot of strikers um, who are very successful at what they do, but they can't explain why they do what they do. You know what I mean? It's
Mm-hmm.
just something that's in them.
Right.
I feel like we all have that to some extent. Also, being too conscious at moments. Everything has its pros and cons. Not being aware, being too aware. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're, it's funny you're speaking a language that I'm been playing around with. I've been getting into meditation recently,
Yeah.
and it's a lot to deal with understanding your consciousness, and it gets. I'm still trying to learn about it. Before I don't want to speak out of my ass, but basically,
Yeah.
it's me consciously being aware of things so that it's just like jujitsu or Muay Thai where you're repping, of course. You're teaching yourself to do the same thing over and over again, and then over time, your body's gonna know to do it. So
Hmm.
it's you're consciously aware that you're doing this thing to teach your unconscious mind to react and do it. Like you're teaching your body
Yeah.
to just, you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. For sure, man. It's always that fine balance. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
The thing is, no matter what, we're always just in the stage of figuring it out. We
Mm-hmm.
might have epiphanies here and there, whether it's with jujitsu, striking, or anything else that's going on in our life. We might have epiphanies like, oh, okay, yeah, like I get it now. But then
Right.
the work still needs to be done. The application still needs to be put forward, you know?
Yeah.
Like not knowing just isn't enough. We must apply. I think Bruce Lee said that.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think something like that. Yeah.
yeah, but it's just meditating and finding that fine line between working on our conscious and building our subconscious. It's something that just can't be forced, and it's a constant motion. It's a constant search. Yesterday we might have had everything figured out, and today we might feel completely lost, and vice versa. But it's an everyday thing. It's like it's an everyday routine, like hygiene. Every day we gotta brush our teeth. We gotta take a shower. We gotta, keep our hair cut and groom ourselves. And uh, it's just a little every day. Are we perfectly spotless and clean? No, not all the time, but uh, like as good as we can get, as good as we can get. And no one is wrong when they explain what meditation does for them. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what it does for them. You
Mm-hmm.
know, that's the beautiful part. There's no wrong answer.
Hmm. Do you meditate?
Yeah, I
No.
uh, I try to meditate as much as I can. Really, I just feel like meditating is just trying to gain control of the situation, and even that, those words can be mistook. Gaining control doesn't necessarily mean, you know, things are happening um, at my the way I want at the drop of a dime. Gaining control just means that I'm not overwhelmed. That's just how I feel about controlling the situations. Not overwhelmed. I take the circumstances. I take whatever cards I'm dealt, and I play the hand.
Yeah.
Sometimes I come up. Sometimes, I fail, but I'm still learning. I'm still growing. Next time a situation comes around, uh, I'll be able to gain better control of it. Like there's just so many forms of meditating. It's not just sitting in a quiet spot with your legs crossed, holding up your hands a certain way, you know, uh,
Yeah.
reciting chants. Um, I'm meditating when I'm driving. I'm like we're meditating as we're having this conversation. You know what I mean? Because we're just in the flow of things.
Mm.
Where circumstantially, however the this conversation unfolds, we'll respond accordingly. It's not mapped out. It's not scripted. You know what I mean? You may have scripted some questions, but even then, everything is somewhat spontaneous. It's just
Right.
being able to just take it and go with the flow, on to the next, on to the next. We're always meditating, constantly meditating without even realizing it. we'll be sitting there thinking to ourselves, we're meditating. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sitting there daydreaming, we're meditating. You know, one thing I've learned in meditating by sitting still and just trying to have peace and quiet is that it's a constant. It's just like reeling in a line and throwing it back out, reeling in a line, throwing it back out, because my mind will be quiet. Then without realizing it, next thing I know, I'm thinking about some other stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, how did I fall into this? All right, quiet, quiet. And it's just that constant like rise and fall, rise and fall. So uh, just like balance, it's not a stagnant position. It's constant adjustment, constant adjustments.
Right. The Sam Harris. I don't know if you heard of him. He uh, he has a app called Waking Up or whatever, and I've been using it recently, and I fucking love it, man.
Yeah,
Uh, but what you're describing, the when you're thinking about something and then it goes away and then it comes back and it goes away.
yeah, yeah,
He describes that as losing the self. So your consciousness is like constantly coming up with thoughts and stuff, and the more
yeah,
you are able to just focus on nothing and just relaxing, like your thoughts are just they just go like clouds. And I get that from
yeah,
Headspace. Yeah, it's another app called Headspace. I was on that for a year, but I like that uh whatever that's called, the metaphor that the thoughts are like clouds. They just flow by. You don't try to push them away. You just let them flow, and that's pretty much what you're doing.
yeah,
You're describing.
yeah,
Um,
pretty much.
it's funny that you're talking about this because I wanted to. That's something I wanted to ask anyone that about meditation. I've That's been a growing passion of mine to uh, talk about this, because how you can apply it to your
Yeah,
combat career, like it's just crazy. Like you talk about the mindset game, like I don't know what the percentages they always say is, like 90%, 80% of fighting it's mental, whatever, I
oh
don't know.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, you know what I mean. So it's
yeah,
if you can develop your mind, meditating, blah blah blah, like you can be like so much better than your opponents, because they may not know what to do, how to deal with
yeah,
your stress that you're talking about.
yeah.
Um,
I agree, man.
yeah,
Well, when I'm in there in a fight, uh, when you're meditating, it's like I said, control may not be a good choice of words, uh, but I'll just use it for now.
that's fine.
Uh, Controlling my emotions, not being overwhelmed. If I hear an unpleasant sound while I'm searching for peace, I, I just let the sound pass.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as unpleasant sounds anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a sound.
Yeah.
Um, and just gaining control again over something just that small. Then when I'm in a fight, things aren't going to go my way. You know, whenever we set out a plan in life, it never goes the way we plan. The only thing, one thing fighting has taught me, as far as mentality goes, is one is in a fight you're only promised two things. One, we're gonna miss, and the exchange we're gonna miss. Two, we're gonna get hit. These things are inevitable, and when they happen, just like that sound, it's just on to the next. I can't dwell on it. I can't let it affect me emotionally, because as a as a mental fighter, I like to use people's emotions against them. When I see them start to get frustrated, or when I see them start to get angry, um, I like to use that against people. So I try to keep my composure as much as possible. And in order to work on my composure, I got to be able to translate what I learned from meditating, or just self-talk, or anything, anything that I do for myself internally. Uh, why I can't apply that to fighting as well, you know?
Yeah.
It, two things that are similar is, if someone cuts me off in traffic, I'm not going to chase him down and, just to give him the finger. Maybe he was late for work, or someone cut him off, so now he's pissed. I'm not gonna let that domino affect me. You know, if someone starts to try to ruffle my feathers in a fight, I can feel it, whether they taunt, whether they're doing little jerk moves, you know,
Mhm.
like just doing things to try to irritate me. I'll keep my composure. Even if they catch me with something hard, I don't smile because it's a taunt. Like, oh yeah, I took that. I smile because I understand the language that we're both having just by staring at each other
Mhm.
and our body language, you know. That was a good one. Now my turn. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Uh, it's genuine.
Right.
And the thing is, once we step out the gym, uh, I'm not two different people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I try to live fighting. Whatever I learn from fighting, I apply to life. Whatever I learn from life, I can apply to fighting.
Right.
And once I start to do those things, I'm in constant practice. I'm in constant fight practice, whether I'm in the gym or out, because it's all in my mental. And
Right.
as long as I keep that sharp, when I get in there, all I got to do is worry about the physical. As long as I'm conditioned, as long as I'm got my body tempering completed, you know what I mean? I'm not tripping about nothing.
Right. Yeah, that's cool, man. Like you talk about bringing it like you're the same person inside and outside of the gym. That was a question I had in mind too. Because I take what I learned from jujitsu and Muay Thai, and I apply it to my parenting. You know, the discipline that I learn and the patience that I have to learn. Because when I first started the jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai, I was just like, I was hungry and I was thinking, oh, I'm gonna be good at this and whatever. I was all cocky, and I got humbled. And bringing it to parenting, it whenever my kids does something that they're kids. If they do something
How
to
old are
upset
they?
me, huh?
How old are they?
I have my 2 year old right now. She's with me, my biological daughter, and I have a 10 year old and a 4 year old that they're with their other
Oh,
dad.
really?
Yeah, yeah,
That's dope, man. I
yeah.
got my daughter, she's 10. My son is 5, and my other son just turned 1. So they're all pretty much around the same age.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a
So I dig
beautiful
what
thing, man.
you yeah. But as you were saying, with your patience with the kids and
Yeah, it just everything that you learn from these, going in the gym. I'm sure you can, you know what I'm talking about. That you're able to take these lessons that you learn from them from the gym and apply it to
yeah,
your parenting, and it's just valuable, man.
yeah,
Uh, and or not just your parenting, just everything in your life, like you said, like whatever.
yeah,
I work 'cause I have a job, so I have to. I try to apply it to my job even because
yeah, yeah,
dealing with other people, customers that want to get on my nerves.
yeah, yeah.
Because I work with vending machines. I fill vending machines, so all people do
Oh,
is
okay.
always all they do is ask for free snacks, or
Yeah,
they complain about their 50 cents that they lost, and
yeah,
I'm able to say okay, like
yeah,
yeah, but
yeah. No, I could dig it, man. And I used to work in customer service as well. So, well, I still do work in customer service. I teach personals, uh, and that's what I do for my 9 to 5. Now, of course, I had to build up to that, and it was scary making the plunge, to actually do it. Usually, um, in positions like customer service, doesn't that suck, man? Like, think about it. Uh, Cops, they only get called. They never get calls because someone wants to know how their day is. Every call is a bad call. You know what I mean? When I used to work as a med tech in a care home, the only time people would come up, well, the majority of time that people would come up and talk to me was because there was an issue. I was the one to handle the issue. You know what I mean?
right,
Um, so in those positions, we have to. Well, this is something that I've learned is remain humble. I chose this job. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I know what comes with it.
Yeah.
So I can't complain about it because we all have a choice.
Right.
There's never a point to where we don't have a choice. We may not like the circumstances that come with a certain choice, but we always have that choice, you know? Um, and whenever someone comes to me with a complaint, or nowadays, a lot of times, working with someone one-on-one is like giving them a haircut, because when someone sits in that barber chair, and I'm sure you've felt this as well. There's times where I sat in a barber chair, then I just start talking, start spilling my guts about everything, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like a weight off my chest, and like a vent period, you know. Um,
I did that
I
today.
I yeah,
Not the barber,
I
but
take
yeah.
I take that as an opportunity to do the things that I say, practice what I preach. Um, be the change that you want to see, you know.
Mm.
um, if you're in a position to where you can make someone's day, why not? You know, it doesn't take much. I just need to get out of my way and check whatever's bothering me at the door. Not saying that I need to bottle it all up inside, but everyone has stuff that they're going through. Everyone has a reason to be frustrated, you know what I mean? And it if I were to die tomorrow, I want to make it to where if I met you today and I died tomorrow, you'd have an interesting story to tell,
Yeah.
you know? Um, and it's done me good so far.
Right. Speaking of interesting story, you mentioned something earlier and I forgot to write it down. I have a shit dad memory now because my wife calls it dad brain. Um, but I forget a lot of shit now. It's crazy. Um, fuck. It was about what you said earlier. You said something and it made me want to question. What was it? I don't want to linger on it. Anyway, yeah, get into what you're saying now, though. Yeah, that's true, man. And it's just everything you've mentioned is just what I'm currently going through in my life, practicing what I preach and
Yeah,
trying to like be humble and learning that understanding that a lot of people are struggling, man. And
yeah,
everyone struggles in their own way. And I'm just trying. This is why I'm trying to do this podcast, and
yeah,
I'm trying to
yeah,
move, get the fuck out my own way, so I can
yeah, yeah,
do shit. And I think Muay Thai and Jiu Jitsu inspired me to get moving. And well, mainly my daughter. She's the one when she was born. She lit a fire under my ass.
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that's cool, man. I wanted to ask you. I guess I can ask you how did you get into Muay Thai? Like what got you started? Like what led you there?
It was actually my wife's brother. He was into Muay Thai. None of us were training at the time, but he would always draw Muay Thai characters, and he would watch Muay Thai fights. Um, and then I ran into a buddy of mine at the gym. He told me he was training at this. He does Muay Thai at somewhere in Vallejo, and I've never heard of a Muay Thai gym in Vallejo. So I went back and I told my brother, my wife's brother, my brother as well, um, about it. We went to check it out, and then things just snowballed from there. You know, of course we didn't go there planning to fight, because I didn't know that we can compete. You know, at that time, I just knew it was a place where I can go hit things.
Hmm.
We would show up drunk. We would show up high, and since we were new, we'd get the crap kicked out of us, and then every day we just got better and better and better, because we come home and we live together. We had a bag at the house. We would train at the house and train at the gym. Train at the house, train at the gym,
That's
and we
awesome.
just started to excel. And
And
it's just like one thing led to another. You know, we started sparring local gyms around us. Then we started doing uh, smokers, or PKBs, or whatever they're called these days. And then eventually went to amateurs, and then did my thing there, and then here I am today. It
how long ago was this?
was about 11 or 12 years ago.
Damn. Oh shit.
Yeah, I started
Wow.
when I was 22,
Wow.
23, something like that.
Damn. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
30. I'm 31, man. It's just not that when I first started, I was like fucking bummed out, and then I got over it because then I realized I wouldn't be here with my daughter if I would have gotten into Muay Thai and Jiu Jitsu before.
Yeah.
You know how everyone says, "Oh, I wish I would have found this years ago." You know, then my life would
Yeah.
have been different. For me,
Yeah.
I say that initially in my head, but then I'm like, no, because then I wouldn't have my daughter,
Oh
and
yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
so it's like fuck that. But I'm happy I
Yeah.
have it now. That's the whole point.
Yeah. The thing is, we uh even if we had it back then, um, I find myself saying that sometimes too, but then I'm quickly grounded by my own thoughts. When when I just tell myself, yeah, but the type of person I was back then, uh, I wouldn't have been ready for this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're
Um,
right.
the things that we have now are things. There's a reason why we got them. Whether it's material, whether it's energy, as far as interests. I'm interested in it now. That's what I'm talking about.
Hmm.
Uh, Back then, I wouldn't have been responsible to maintain the things that I have now. There's been things that people have been telling me my whole life, but I didn't understand it until now, just because I wasn't ready to hear it. It wasn't a choice that I wasn't ready to hear it. It was just where I was in that, where my mind was in that time of my life. I was just worried or thinking about other things. You know what I mean? So there's no way that I can really want what I have now back then.
Yeah. Curious question. You grew up in the hood?
Yeah, I
Okay,
would
yeah,
say so.
I grew up in the hood too. No, I'm just asking because you're saying things and it's like, damn, man, we're kind of similar in a way. Because when I was in my 20s, you're right. Shit, when I did wrestling for the first time when I was a teenager, my baseball coach kept telling me, "Hey, you need to do wrestling so you can get a scholarship." Blah blah. And then I tried it and I died because it was in the basement, in the heated basement, and I was like, "Fuck this!" I didn't like the tights. I used to have
Yeah.
that mentality that things were gay if you were grappling other men.
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
so I used to like fuck this nonsense, and I couldn't handle
yeah,
it anyway because my mind was just like weak, man.
yeah.
I was me. All I did was play video games and play football outside and basketball, and that's it. And stay in the house.
Yeah,
Try to stay away from the bullshit out there. But because of my past experiences, it led me to my age, or my 20s, that I was so insecure. I had a low
yeah,
self esteem. I was scared.
yeah,
I was always worrying about what people thought about me.
yeah,
So you're right. I think if I would have found jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai, I probably would have been like, oh no, it's not for me. But at the same time,
yeah.
it was just that I was always curious about boxing, and
Hmm.
karate and kung fu because of fucking Bruce Lee and all the kung fu films we
Yeah,
watch.
yeah,
So that I was always inspired to try a martial art. I just didn't know what.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is
Well,
that kind of similar to what you did, or?
yeah, yeah, pretty much, man. I did wrestling, I did football. I wasn't one of the cool kids, but I hung out with the cool kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, and it's like I was just into other things, at the time. I
Right.
did karate when I was a kid, and after high school, I went to, I joined a boxing gym out here for a couple months, Pals Boxing. Um, and, I wasn't into it like I am now. Um, but then there's a lot of things that I went through that made me the person I am today. You know, that
Hmm.
there's a reason why I'm humble. Well, I like to think that I'm humble. Uh, I'm guilty of not being sometimes, but I'm only
Yeah.
human. Uh,
No, for me, from my perspective, I know I don't know you like that. We just met,
yeah,
but you seem very humble to me, man. Like just the way you train, just the way you
yeah.
fight, like you seem very humbled. Like just from my
Well,
perspective. So
only because I know it could be all gone tomorrow.
yeah,
or tonight. Who knows? You know what I mean?
Right.
People people may, and I'm not speaking everyone, and I'm not speaking for just one reason, but for example, say people love me for the way that I fight, and I can't fight no more. You know, uh, something happened. Um, I'm sure people will still appreciate me, but uh, people easily forget.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And life passes by so quickly, and it's not that we're not important. You know, it's that people have their own lives to live. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
That's true.
So, uh, and the fact that I can do this today, I'm just so grateful. It fills me uh, with being grateful all day because I know I get to do this one more day. You know what I mean?
Right.
One more day. Like,
Right.
uh, if tomorrow was the end, today is my last day I can do it. So I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna have fun while I do it, and I'm gonna do it the way I want to do it. I'm not gonna care what anyone else thinks. Not to say that I'm not open for to be taught, because I'm always a student. Once we stop learning, we stop growing. Um, but I'm gonna do things the way I want to do it, the way that makes me feel good. And anyone who tells me otherwise, my mentality is watch me. You know, I'm gonna prove them wrong.
Mm.
I'm the exception. You know what I mean? We
Mm.
should all think that in some way because we never know. We never know. There's so many stories of people uh, doing great things at an old age. They shouldn't be able to do these things. You know,
Yeah.
whether it's join a professional football team or baseball team. You know, uh, or run a marathon or do this or do that. You know, there's people constantly breaking the expectation. You know,
Right.
and I feel like I can be one of those also.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're getting old. You know. Yeah, so what? If I work on my timing and my accuracy and my rhythm and my balance, I can stay relevant for a little bit longer. Yeah, but what about your kids? You don't have insurance, you know. Fighting is a real all fighting is a big temp agency, you know. Like after I fight, I'm just waiting for my unless I have a contract, sometimes even with a contract, I'm waiting for my next job. I'm waiting for the next call. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
Uh, So there's no real like we don't get no 401k. I don't get no sick time. I don't get no vacation. So when I'm sick, I gotta work through my sickness or rest if I really need to. I don't get vacation time. Uh, we don't get paid for the hours that we put in. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Uh, your average person gets paid $12 an hour. If we added up the hours that I put in a day, um, compared to how much I get paid, I would probably say I get paid $2 an hour. You know,
Mm.
and that's just a guesstimate.
Yeah.
But everything could be gone tomorrow. My career, uh, any one of my loved ones, God forbid. You know what I mean? My
Yeah.
ability to speak, my ability to hear, my ability to see, my ability to feel, uh, internally and physically, my ability to taste. You know, any one of these things could be gone, and we take it for granted so much that I just try to be grateful every day. You know, there's times where I am short tempered. There's times where I do get uh, I flash on my wife or my kids, or you know, I
I
don't
feel
do
you.
something so enlightening. You know what I mean? I,
Yeah.
I have my moments and this and that, but we all do. It's a constant search.
Right. Man, you're a fucking human, man.
Yeah,
uh, yo, that's crazy. I, I never try to have any kind of expectations when I talk to people. You know what I mean? Like talking to you, I was
yeah,
just, oh, it's probably gonna be, just, I don't know what's gonna be like. I never like to expect things, but I listen to interviews all the time. I listen to Joe
yeah,
Rogan. I listen to UFC Unfiltered. I listen to all these different people talk, and I always hear fighters speak. And
yeah,
you're unique, man. You're unique. But it's like at the same time, it's like, yo, you're in the same page. I don't know why, but how the hell do you know everything you know that I'm learning? It's like I'm like learning all this shit. Like I'm figuring all this shit out now. Like just everything's
Yeah,
coming together for me. I don't know if it's because
yeah,
it's like that for everybody, but it's like what
yeah,
you're saying is not. I don't hear that often. I don't everything you just mentioned now. I don't hear that a lot. Like
yeah,
to be grateful every day. That everything you just mentioned about each of your limbs and your taste and all that. That's crazy that
yeah,
you can bust your ass in training at the gym, whatever, and then
yeah.
still have this mentality. Oh, my daughter's crying. What's up, girl? And still have this mentality that you have right now. I don't know. It's just awesome that to see that.
I that may be the answer. I can't say, I can't pinpoint why, but I could probably do my best to explain and say why. Uh, that's probably why. The fact that I do train all day, that I'm in the gym all day, that's probably why I'm able to free my mind and think about these things. Because I don't have to worry about going to I don't want to say going to a 9 to 5, because I still work. I still work hard to
You don't have
provide.
you don't have to work at a
But
shitty job.
yeah, I'm not doing something that I don't want to do. You
Yes.
know, I'm doing what I want to do. Um, and I don't have to deal with, I feel like I'm out the system. You know what I mean? The system being get a 9 to 5, retire, this and that, I feel like I'm just kind of free flowing through everything. So I don't have to think about these things that normal people have to think about. If I'm late to work, then I'm late. I mean, if I'm late to work, I'm still on time. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
If there's traffic, I'm not in traffic like beating my horn like, come on, I gotta get there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
This is my third time being late, or my boss is gonna kill me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If anything, if I'm trying to get to the gym at 9 and I get there at 9:15, I'm not tripping. If I hit traffic, all right, I'll get there when I get there. You know,
Right.
I don't have to worry about someone grilling me down my neck.
Dude.
Uh, some days I'll go in at 6, some days I'll go in at 10. And
Yeah.
everything in between. Some days I won't go in at all. It's just based off how I feel, and um, like I have plenty of time to think about other things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like people in third world countries. Like, yeah, they don't have a lot, but because they don't have the cell phones and you know, the luxuries that we have,
Distractions. Right.
yeah, exactly, distractions. They're, they can be more grateful for the things that they do have. They can help others and be willing to give and not be so oh, mine. I need the new iPhone. I need the new shoes. I need the new this and that. Uh, I'm outdated. I got the old one. It's like, man, be grateful you got one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh, but that's probably why I feel like I can have my mind like this as well, even though I'm training, because I could take as many breaks as I want. You know,
Hmm.
um, I can do whatever I want on my break. I can take as long as of a break as I want. Uh, but there still has to be a balance of responsibility.
Right.
Sometimes, yeah, living your dream, everyone wants to do it, but it actually takes more work to live your dream than to not. Because if I'm not living my dream, I'm just in a program.
Hmm.
Get up at 7,
Yep.
go to work, stock the shelves, go have lunch at the same spot every day, um, get off work. The only thing that I would look forward to is coming home and seeing my family, you know. Uh,
See, at least you got that.
but
Some people are looking forward to Friday, man.
yeah, yeah, but that's not like, I don't uh disclude anything. I'm not saying you have to be doing something extravagant. Some people's dream is just to be a parent. Not
Mhm.
everyone can have that. Uh, so if your dream is to become a parent and you just want to have kids, and I know a few people like this, they just want kids. They love kids so much that they want to have their own. And once they have them, that's dream fulfilled. They're living the dream.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Mm.
Living the dream doesn't have to involve lights or praises from millions of people. It has to be living your dreams, just setting a goal and living that goal and trying to do it every day. Every day I'm just trying to be a fighter, you know? And through trying, I become. So right now, it's like, if you want to be the best podcast person, you know what I mean?
Mm.
You can be, or whatever. Like, you're doing it right now just by trying,
Right.
just by going through it.
Yeah, I'm trying to put the work in. It's hard as shit to do this podcasting thing because you got 900,000 other people who want to do the same thing.
Yeah.
But I'm not, you know, like you. There's other fighters too that are trying to do the same thing, but you're just focused
Yeah.
on yourself, man. And
Yeah, man. Once we one thing that shot me was not caring no more. Not trying to do nothing like no one else. I mean, I'm not gonna say that because there's plenty of things that I see fighters do that, oh, I like that. I'm gonna try that. You know what I mean?
yeah, you
But as
emulate it.
far
Yeah.
as their image, you know,
Mm-hmm.
um, it's like I don't try to chase no one because it's too exhausting to not be yourself.
Yeah. You sure you
You
want
know
to
what
be
I
like
mean?
Conor McGregor? Do something about it. No.
Nah, that's more his thing.
No,
You
I
know
know.
what I
I'm
mean?
messing
That's his
around.
style. That's his flavor.
Yeah.
Uh, it and not. I'm not saying I don't like it. That's just not me. I
Yeah.
can't do it. Even if I tried, I can't do it.
Yeah.
It wouldn't come out as genuine
Yeah.
as his comes out. Some people you can tell they're talking just to grab attention, but others are just, they just got that gift of gab to where, they
Mm-hmm.
just they just talking as genuine.
Right.
You know what I mean? I just try to be as genuine as possible, and I know that's what's gonna make me flourish. The
Right.
thing is, the funny thing to me, people want to fit in, but simultaneously want to stand out. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's like that's just too exhausting.
Right.
Really, it's just be yourself, and people are gonna love you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Regardless,
Right.
love people with their faults. They're gonna love you with your faults. It's all good, and that's what's really gonna make you you shine. You know,
Right.
you
Yeah.
you do the podcast the way you want to do it.
Yep.
Don't do it like no one else, and your uniqueness, your weirdness, or the things that you think are unpleasant. There's a group of people out there who are just like you, or who like the way you do your thing, whether you think it's good or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you do it genuinely and you do it like how you want to do it, there's a group of people that like the way you do your thing.
Yeah. That's true, man. And I've been trying to get out of my head with that because there's a lot of there's always that voice in your head that wants you to stop. So
Yeah.
you can be like that other person. I don't know if you ever been
Yeah,
through
yeah.
that. But that's what I'm kind of going through that. It's because I'm still early in the game. I'm only 30. This is my 32nd episode, so I still have a lot to learn with just filling it
Yeah,
out and being comfortable with being myself.
yeah.
And I do change things that I don't like. Like sometimes,
Yeah, yeah.
like if I'm cutting you off or something, I don't like doing that. Just simple stuff that deals with I want
Yeah.
to listen
Oh,
to you. You know what I mean?
yeah, that's growth. That's
Yeah,
growth.
yeah. So, damn, dude, that's crazy that you're not again. No offense. I'm just saying, like,
No,
it's
none taken.
fascinating to me that the way your mind is, and again, not a lot of people are like that. Like, you have to read a book to get that mentality. Like, there's books on stoicism that I read, the
Mm-hmm.
stuff that I already know somewhat, and then I'll read a book like the Daily Stoic, and then it'll say something like, be grateful every day, like what you mentioned earlier. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
I knew that already. How the fuck did you know? Like, I mean, it's just crazy. Like,
yeah, yeah.
it's like I don't know if you believe in fuck, what's it called? When our genetics, it carries on from our ancestors, like whatever our
Oh,
ancestors,
yeah, yeah,
you know how that shit is, and then it passes on to
yeah,
us. It's weird, but I think about that shit sometimes. Like, I wonder if that's why I'm like the way I am today. I'm so obsessed with philosophy and just the mind and just
Yeah,
doing this right now, having a conversation with you, deep thoughts, deep conversations, not bullshit, talking about, I don't know, whatever recently is going on, Donald Trump this, Donald Trump
yeah,
that,
yeah,
or, you know what I mean? I like talking
yeah,
the way we're talking about this shit because it's effective conversation. You know what I mean? It's deep,
yeah,
meaningful
yeah,
conversations that we can learn from each other too, you know?
yeah,
I may say something that you may take from it and like, oh shit, I didn't think about that, or vice versa.
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
for sure. But yeah, man, I don't, I don't know. I feel like we all have it. Things that speak to us, things that stick out to us. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's just actually listening and and I'm sure you have little epiphanies throughout your day where you're like, oh, okay, I'm gonna work on that. There's times where I'll have those, but then I won't work on it. Like I said I was,
you fall back
you know?
into natural
Yeah,
state. Yeah,
yeah. It when we actually work on it, um, more starts to come, more starts to come, more starts to come, and it just piles on, and it like the law of attraction. You know what I mean?
you
Whatever you
believe?
think about, you attract.
Yeah. Do you believe in that, the law of attraction, or do you? Or
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I was
I
always
believe in it.
that's cool. Yeah, I don't. It's like I'm skeptical with things, and I don't know. I tried the.
Yeah,
I was when I went through my suicidal thought stages in my life. I went through. I don't know. I think it was like 24. Uh,
hmm,
and I ran into that, the secret or law of attraction or asking the universe to give you. I remember I saw this Jim Carrey speech. You ever seen that speech? I think he was
yeah.
talking to college students. You know what I'm talking about? He was talking about like,
The one with the check,
what is it?
where he wrote himself a check.
Yeah, I think so. He was talking about asking the universe for
Oh
what you
yeah,
want.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that.
yeah,
And then I was like, interesting. And I did that, and it's like it's a part of me likes the idea of law of attraction because I I like it because you at least you're trying to be positive. You know what I mean? It doesn't
yeah, yeah,
matter. Like you're just trying to be
yeah.
positive. It's like religion. I'm not a believer in religion, but what I
Hmm.
value out of religion is that it gives people hope and something to believe in. You know what I mean? It's something
Yeah, yeah,
positive. Of course, it comes with its negatives. With each
yeah.
religion. But because there's extremists out there, but
Hmm.
for the most part, other people that are not extremists that are going to church and forming a community, like you go to the gym to train with
Hmm.
you spar with your teammates.
Yeah,
These people go out there to pray together, and this is another thing I wanted to talk to you about because it's fascinating that recently with meditation and all that blah blah blah, I've been looking at jujitsu and training sparring differently because of the bond that I see with all of us when we're
yeah.
all in there training together. The more there is, like especially jujitsu is like the most. Uh, I see more people in jiu-jitsu than Muay Thai. Not a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah,
people like to take hits or whatever.
yeah,
Uh, but there's something with a shit ton of people rolling together. There's like 30 heads in there,
yeah.
sweating, and then there's like freaking what is it, condensation, whatever that builds up, or fog, whatever the hell
Hmm.
that is.
Yeah, yeah,
It's crazy, but there's something deep that I look at. I'm like, yo, this is crazy, and I don't know. I get lost in that sometimes, but it makes me think of religion and everything, all that positive energy that you're bringing out together as a unit.
yeah,
You know what I mean? All
yeah,
of our
yeah,
consciousness forming together as one conscious being, whatever I'm trying to
yeah,
say.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know what you're saying.
I'm just going by what you're saying because the law of attraction. Again, I don't know. I can't say I believe in it, but I like it. I still like that. At
Yeah,
least you're trying to be positive. Is basically what I wanted to
yeah,
say.
yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, I get what you're saying. Like, if like all the energy in that room, right, under that one roof at that moment where everyone's just doing their thing, everyone's sweating, everyone's learning, grinding. Like if we put those in terms of energy, that's just a whole bunch of forms of energy coming together. And what is energy? It's vibrations.
Yeah.
So the more vibrations that come together, the harder it's gonna vibrate. You know what
Right.
I mean?
Yeah.
And that's just all around the world. But one thing that I've learned through life experience, that the reason why I believe in the law of attraction is because in high school, well, when I was a kid, I used to tell people I'm gonna be famous, and I was gonna be on TV, right? I thought it was gonna be for something else, like for baseball or something like that, uh, or and to be real, it was constantly changing. So I wasn't quite sure what I would be on TV for. But that's not, and that happened, but that's not what made me believe the law of attraction. In high school, I used to tell everyone I'm gonna be rich by the time I'm 22. Um, and I used to say that with full belief. By the time I'm 22, I'm gonna be rich. I'm gonna be rich by the time I'm 22. And I would say that my entire life, leading up to it as well, leading up to 22. Um, I After I turned 21 and I'm living my year as being the age of 21, I'm thinking, I'm like, man, unless I hit the lotto, like I am not going the path that I thought I was gonna be to become rich. Um, then I had my daughter, at 22. Then I understood what I was telling myself. I wasn't gonna be rich with money. I was gonna be rich with something else. You know, it did make me a richer man. Um, it was then that I learned what we ask for isn't what we picture. So a lot of the times when people think the law of attraction doesn't work, it's not that you didn't get what you wanted, it's that you got exactly what you wanted. But sometimes negative terms come with it as well. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
like say I want $500,000, right? But within the next year or the next couple years, I may not get $500,000, but what I may acquire are is a life worth, uh, not a life worth $5,000, but I'll have a new car, a bigger car, uh, so we're not so crammed with my big family. I may have a bigger house with a bigger yard. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Maybe I won't get $500,000, but I'll get things that are worth. Instead of getting the money, I'll be getting the things that I spend the money on, cutting out the middleman, which is
Yeah.
the money. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes we get exactly what we want without realizing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting, because you made me think. You made me reflect on a minute. On a moment I had when I did ask the universe. I did ask after I watched that Jim
Yeah,
Carrey thing. I said, I was just thinking. I was like, this is like prayer. It's like you're praying to God.
yeah,
That's what
yeah,
they're doing. They're praying to God. They're praying in the universe. It's the same shit.
yeah,
So I
yeah,
was like, well, universe. I said, I I'm depressed. I'm miserable. I hate my life. All I want is love. Why can't I get love? Blah blah blah. And I got emotional and shit.
yeah, yeah,
And you made me think about that, and it's just crazy because that's what I got now. Shit.
yeah,
I got way more than I expected. I didn't expect me to. I didn't even. Long story short, so because I mentioned this in the podcast before. My daughter is here because I took a risk. I didn't want to be with my wife. I didn't want to be with someone who had kids already. I didn't. I
yeah,
didn't. I
yeah,
was. I was in that mindset where I want to be with someone who doesn't have kids. I want my own kids. Blah blah blah. And I don't even think I want kids
yeah,
anyway. Blah blah blah.
yeah,
And
yeah,
the moment I met my wife, and I met her kids, and I was in my son's life since he was since around he was born. That's when
yeah,
things like shifted, and here I am now, and I have a daughter now. Holy shit! And
yeah,
so what you're saying
yeah,
is true, and you know what I mean. Like, it's in a way I did ask for love, and I was desperate, but I was
yeah, yeah,
yeah I was this is not the love I asked for, but this is actually what I want. I'm happy as shit that I have
yeah.
this. and I'm grateful every
Yeah.
day for it. So yeah, just going back to reflect on what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's crazy. We uh basically just what you said. It's not what I asked for, you know.
Mm.
Uh, but you wouldn't change it. We don't know what we want, so it's sometimes it's crazy to ask. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes when I feel like uh less sufficient, I'll just put it in that terms. Whether it's financial, whether it's with love, whether it's with attention, whether it's whatever it is. I'm just throwing examples out there. Whenever I feel these ways, it's just like, man, I don't really know what I want. I could, if you asked me for one, like if you gave me one wish, right? I could come up with a whole bunch of cliche things. I want a lot of money, or I want my own island, or I want, you know what I mean, for my kids to be successful, or this and that. Uh, I don't really know what I want. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Uh, and for example, I want to give my life. I mean, I want to give my kids a life that I didn't have. I want them to have the things that I didn't have. Um, but at the same time, I want them to be intelligent. I want them to be smart. I want them to have morals. I want them to know how to face the world when they're alone. Uh, but they can't have those things. I strip those things from them if I give them the things that I didn't have, because of the things that I didn't have, uh, I learned lessons. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if I want them, say I want them to be street smart, we'll just use that term, street smart in the world. Um, but I don't give them a chance to work on it. I don't give them a chance to experience it because that's what I didn't have. I didn't have this certain opportunity, or I didn't have the new shoes, or I didn't have this and that. You know what I mean? So I had to deal with going to school, getting made fun of, getting bullied, not being the cool kid or this and that, which taught me humility, which taught me that I'm not gonna treat other people this way, or these lessons. But if they do get the new shoes, if they are the most popping in school,
Mm.
they don't fight these internal battles. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And say they might have to fight it later on down the road. By the time they're an adult, they're gonna think, oh man, my life is. They have no conditioning, no life conditioning. They're just gonna think that that's it. This is the end. I want out type deal.
I hear
You
you.
know.
Yeah.
So we never know what we really want.
Uh, it makes me think about that too, because I was really literally thinking that today. I don't like using that word literally, but I was because I said, "Yo," because again doing this podcast, I was trying to talk about jujitsu, Muay Thai, meditation, all these things that I've been doing, figuring out my mind,
Yeah,
and just trying to put it out there that everyone else could do the same thing. You just have to
yeah,
get away from the shit, the distractions, man.
yeah,
Like all the phones. I was addicted to social media, dude. I had a lot of issues worrying about being famous.
yeah,
I wanted to be Quentin Tarantino slash Tim Burton. Uh,
yeah,
I became an actor so that I could get experience seeing how they do it, blah blah, so I could be a filmmaker, blah blah. But I wanted to
yeah,
do all these things because I want to do this, and then I realized I'm here where I am now. I'm like, oh, I don't want none of that shit now. Like,
yeah,
now I want this. But
yeah, yeah,
today I don't know, cause I just want my wife and my kids to be chill. You know what I mean? That's all I
yeah,
care
yeah,
about for real. I don't give a fuck if I work at vending. I want to get out of there for sure.
yeah,
I don't want to. Shit, you know, I would love to fight. Cause I
yeah,
haven't gotten to a fight yet, my Muay Thai fight, but I'm trying to, but I'm injured.
yeah,
uh,
yeah.
uh, sorry, I'm rambling, but I wanted to
Oh
just,
no, it's good. It's good.
I just trying to say that, I want all these things, and I keep telling my wife, I want this, I want that, I want this, and I'm driving her nuts.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm like, I'm gonna shut the fuck up, not tell her anymore, cause like I'm making her lose her mind, cause she just wants
yeah,
one
yeah,
thing, and I was like, you know what? I know what I want. I want to help
yeah,
her get to where she wants to go. She wants to be she's a weirdo. She wants to become what do you call it? A forensic person. You know, those people that go to a forensic
yeah, yeah,
scientist or whatever. That's what she wants.
yeah.
Like, go,
That's
go do
dope.
that. Go,
If
yeah,
that's what she's into,
yeah.
you know what I mean? And I was having this conversation with someone at the gym today, uh, based off what we want or what we want to do, you know? Um, I was saying earlier, I often imagine of life without communication. It may sound weird because how can we coexist? But the only communicate, like we can't talk, uh, we don't necessarily have like sign language. Our only communication is what we do. If the world turned like that, we wouldn't have these people telling us, uh, this is what I want to do. Or I wouldn't be saying, man, I really want this. You know what I mean? Because actions speak louder than words.
Yeah, you hear that often, but that's true.
Like what are we doing right now? That's what we want. You know, like I said, everyone has a choice. Uh, if I'm at a job that I hate, or I'm in a relationship that I hate, or I'm in a certain situation or circumstances that I hate, I have the choice to change it. Yeah, but I need this job because without this job, you know, I can't have this, or I can't do this. True, it's still a choice though. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like we don't have to be in the places where we want to be, but I often get like that with my wife. I want this, I want that, and then I just shut myself up, and then I tell myself, I'm gonna show you. You know, I tell myself, I don't say it to her, I say it to myself, but I'm in my mind, I'm talking to her. I'm gonna show you. I'm not gonna tell you. I'm gonna just show you. It's same with other people. You know, I want this. Eddie, what do I do? I want this. Show me.
Yeah, yeah.
Like end of discussion.
That's it.
Show
Yeah,
me.
just do it.
If we want something, we'll find a way.
Right.
You know? Uh and also we gotta look back and remember how far we've come. There's a saying that's out there. Remember the days that you prayed for what you have now, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I bet you before you even started, when having a podcast was just a thought. Look at you. You got a nice background. You got good. You know, you got a nice mic. You got headphones. You got everything. You know.
Yeah, I'm still improving it.
Yeah. You know, but we're
Little by
constantly
little.
improving,
Yeah, yeah.
little by little, constantly improving. Every day we're growing. Every day we're learning. Uh, Once we have everything, it's not fun. There's nothing to look forward to.
It's true.
The only thing when we get there, the only thing we can do is reminisce. So I'm gonna enjoy the ride. You
That's
know
what
what
they
I
always
mean?
say. They always say, what is that saying? Enjoy the journey or something like that.
Yeah,
Not the destination. Don't look at the destination. Focus on the journey. Something like that.
yeah,
You get what I'm saying?
yeah. Because
Yeah,
when we're reminiscing, oh, what's the feeling we get? Oh, I wish I could go back. Like
yeah,
those are the good old days. You know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
Like we're in the good old days right now
Right.
because our future self is reminiscent about what we're doing right now. You know?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true as shit. Yeah, that's true. What you said earlier too about just doing, and that's why I said
Yeah.
I need to shut the fuck up and stop
Hey
telling my
man, we're
wife.
all guilty. I'm guilty of it myself.
And I tell myself, all right, just Joe, just do it. Like the podcast thing, I kept telling her I wanted to do it, and I was doing the same shit. But then I just one
Yeah,
day I just started doing it, and everything else. I told her I wanted to fight Muay Thai. I want to do public speaking so I can try to. I have
dope.
this idea talking to kids about bullying
Nice.
and about all the shit that we're talking about.
Hmm.
And I don't want to be a motivational speaker, but you know what I mean. Those typical ones. Not against them, but I want to be my own person
Yeah, yeah,
trying to reach out to kids that I was looking for. I was looking for me basically. Like if I can
yeah.
bring me to, you know what I mean, to myself when I was
Uh
a
huh.
kid, that's what I'm talking about
Yeah,
trying to do.
Yeah.
Uh, so
And
that
even if you just reach one person, like you're a success.
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't have to have a mass crowd, a sellout auditorium. If you just reach one person, like you're a success.
Yeah. Exactly. Success is that's another thing I always say too. Success is different for everyone.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily have to mean that success is like the big dollars and the fame and all that. I don't really. I used to care about that, but not anymore. I'm more
Yeah.
focused on just getting shit done, pretty much doing shit
Yeah.
that I
Yeah.
enjoy.
Yeah. That's it, man.
Uh, that's cool, man. You're way more what do you call it grounded and humbling than I imagined. Again, I have
Oh,
no
thank you.
expectations of people, but it's just that you do kind of assume that fighters are they kind of have typical mindsets, you know.
Yeah.
Uh, a lot of people are different. Like, what's his name? Fuck, he's been weirding everybody out recently from UFC. Fuck, you know what I'm talking about?
Uh-uh.
Fuck.
Probably if you said his name.
He just recently fought, and he was using push hands in his fight. I
I
can't
don't
get
know.
it. I can't get it. Anyway, yeah, it's a
Yeah.
UFC fighter. He found this guy. This he called him the body coach or some shit. He's meditating basically,
Yeah. Yeah.
and he's doing that woo woo stuff, and people
Uh-huh.
are like really fucking with him because of that, and it's just like damn. Uh, Diego Sanchez, I think it is.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? I don't know. Yeah, I think that's his name,
The
Diego Sanchez. Yeah. Anyway, he's in his own zone and doing him, and everyone is just
yeah.
like fucking trying to diss the shit out of him because he's in his own little world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, but that just
Now, the thing is, man, do what gets you there.
yeah
No matter how weird it is, no matter the thing is, it's not if I sit here and I say, man, I don't know why he's doing that shit. What does that do? Like, you know, I don't understand it. You know, that's basically why I would clown it, is because I don't understand it.
mm,
But the funny thing is, it's not meant for me to understand. It's
mm,
not meant for any of us to understand. If it helps him mentally, then it's working, you know? Say I go out there and I do the exact same thing that he's doing,
right.
but I'm just not digging it. Like I said, we hear what we're ready for, you know, we learn what we're ready for. If I'm not ready for that, then no matter how hard I want to indulge myself in it, I'm just not going to click with it, you know?
Right.
But if that's what he does, no matter if that's a part of his ritual, no matter what his method is, um, if it helps him mentally, you know, and if it clicks in a certain way for him that it's working, by all means, you know, do you.
Yeah.
When I started like playing with the balance board and you know juggling at the same time, you know, and hitting that little the ball off my head while I'm walking across the mat on a roller, stuff like that. You know, people would laugh. You
I
know what I
love that
mean?
shit.
Yeah, people would laugh and make a little side jokes, harmless side jokes, but enough to make someone stop. You know, especially because when I first started doing it, like anything, it takes practice. So I was falling on my ass. You know, I wasn't able to juggle as well as I can now, which made me look even more silly. Uh, and I used to always say, first they'll laugh, then they'll ask how I did it.
Yeah.
Do what you do until you can't be denied. Then when they ask, man, how do you get so this or your mind or whatever? All that stuff you guys was laughing at before, like that's what has helped me. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
wasn't afraid to look silly. We can't be afraid to look silly if it's something that benefits us or something that we even enjoy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh, that's what stops us most of the time from learning or even becoming the next champion. is that
Yeah.
I don't want to look silly. You know, I
Yeah.
don't want to look silly. I don't want people to laugh at me. I don't want to look like I don't know what I'm doing. But
Yeah.
we have to go through that phase in order to become professionals.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
there's
You're
that saying. There's that saying that goes, "You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great." Like
mm,
you have to look silly
right.
in the beginning.
I like that. The
Yeah,
it's fun you brought that up. Your training, because I that was one of the main reasons why I appreciate someone like you, because you do something different that I don't see. I followed a shit ton of Muay Thai fighters, and
yeah,
because I just wanted to see how everyone trains. And then you, when I found you, I was like, this motherfucker. I was like, I like this dude. He's fucking cool.
yeah,
He's doing all this different shit that I'd never seen before. And I actually took
yeah,
one of your things, and I think I copied one. I forget what it was, but I guess it wasn't. I don't know if you. It's what do you call that shit? The double end bag.
yeah, yeah,
So I'm ghetto. I put it on top of my ceiling fan, and I just let it sway, and I just kept,
yeah, yeah,
I was trying to close my eyes, and I kept getting smacked or whatever. The metal part was hitting my
yeah,
face. But I was just like trying to copy you, what you're doing. I was like, yo, he's going somewhere because he's being creative. You're being an
yeah,
actual martial artist. Like you are actually
yeah,
trying to be creative with your work. And
yeah,
that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to reach out to you, because
yeah,
you're different, man. You're unique. You're your own person doing your own thing.
yeah,
And yeah, sure, you're I'm pretty sure you're training what they're teaching you. No, yeah, hit this
yeah,
back,
yeah,
hit that. But you're still like, all right, on my own time, I'm gonna go ahead and do this, John, and mix it
yeah,
up because that's what you like to do, and I like that.
yeah, yeah. I just like I try to get the edge any way I can. I always felt like I had to work harder than everyone else, um, which is probably why I do those things. You know, I'm just real intrigued with movement. That's another reason why I got into MMA, and started grappling and stuff. Not to be, I mean, everything I do, I strive to be the best. Um, but I really just want to understand my body more and understand how to not only manipulate my body, but manipulate someone else's body as well, you know?
Mm.
Um, and just seeing other ways that my body can move, getting used to being on my back, get used to just being down there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because as I get older, man, my kids, they're getting older. They're starting to all jump me at once, you know? And I just, like, I got to know how to at least carry all of them without blowing my back out or this and that, you know? Proper technique and, uh, and strength and everything, structure, you know? It, I lift weights and I do wrestling and grappling and all that more so for my kids than for myself.
Hmm.
So I can keep up with them and wrestle with them and pick them up, you know, and so they feel like their dad is Superman, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, that's a good what do you call it? That's that's what I inspire to be, that father just like that, where I'm just trying to be, I want to be playful with my kids, and I
Yeah,
don't want to have a fucked up, body where I can't do anything with them.
yeah,
Uh, and I love, like you're just saying, like playing, like carrying them and playing with them. I didn't think about
yeah,
that.
yeah,
I don't work out. I haven't been working out recently because of my shoulders fucked up. But now I'm thinking about it. You kind of changed my mindset. Like instead of me training for jujitsu and Muay Thai, I should that like because I train with kettlebells and all that and push-ups and
yeah,
whatever. I'm actually training for my kids so I can fucking continue to be strong for them. And
yeah, yeah,
that's funny, and for my wife
yeah,
too, cause she
yeah.
called because I'm
It
puny
it's
now.
all relevant, man.
Yeah,
It's all
yeah,
relevant. Everything, you know. Again, martial arts. It's an open book. You know, it doesn't stop in the ring. I
mm,
mean, out the ring or out the cage or out the mat. You know, it continues on. It's
yeah,
all life lessons. You know,
yes,
and I stay in shape for them, and because of them, I stay in shape, and like everything complements each other.
yeah, yeah. That's true. How everything works together, man.
Yeah,
That's fucking amazing. I don't know, I'm just like the way you look at life when you put everything together like that shit. That's just this is awesome.
yeah. Thanks, man.
Uh, I wanted to ask you because I'm not. I know I'm not going to be a champion or anything like that. I don't really. I don't really. Not that I can't do it, but I don't really aspire to do it anyway. Because I feel
Yeah,
like in my situation is like super hard since I'm working and all that, and
yeah, yeah,
I could just take the risk, but I have to make sure my family's taken care of, so it's like difficult. But
yeah.
how do you balance your training with your family time? You know what I mean? Like, is that do you have a fine balance with that, or is it like you're still managing what you're doing with that? I
Um,
don't know if that's the right
I
question to ask. I'm trying to.
no, no. That's a perfect question. But at the same time, you answered your own question.
I did.
Um, yeah. it with anything, man. Balance
Oh
is a
yeah.
everyday search. You know what I mean?
Uh,
There's times where we find balance. There's times where we have to catch our balance. But it's an everyday search. It's not just it. It's not uh okay. I've found the balance. This is it. I'm staying right here. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Uh, because every day is different. And a lot of times things need uh like we need to call audibles. You know what I mean?
Right.
We need to make adjustments at the time. We need to change the plan at the time. Just like a fight, everything's never going to go to as planned. So there's times where uh, I planned on training, but I can't train. I'll find a way to train. I'll go run the streets. Uh, with my kids, there's times where I feel like I spend enough time with them, as well as my wife. Uh, there's times where I feel like I don't spend enough time with them. There's times where I feel like uh, I have trained enough. There's times where I feel like I haven't trained enough. Um, and just like meditation, I have this way of thinking, but I'll lose it at times, and I'll have to bring myself back.
Right.
And I'll lose it. I have to bring myself back. And that way of thinking is wherever I'm at is where I'm at. There was a time where when I'd be at the gym, I'd be so stressed out because I'd feel guilty from leaving my wife and kids. Like I'm at the gym all day. Then when I get home, I'd feel guilty and be frustrated because I didn't have a good day at the gym because my mind wasn't there. So there was a point to no matter where I was at, wherever my body was, my mind wasn't. Then I was like, okay, if I'm going to do this, I got to do this. When I'm at the gym, I don't have a family. I'm just a fighter. When I'm at home with my family, I'm not a fighter. I'm a father. I'm a husband, a son, a friend, a brother, whatever, whoever I'm engaging with. And I have to engage. They're like little missions, man. And it makes my life interesting
Yeah.
because I'm not just a father. When I come home, I'm not just one father. I'm a father to my daughter, and I'm a father to my 5-year-old. I'm a father to my 2-year-old. They all three require a different me, you know.
True.
Uh, as a father to my daughter, I'm setting an example on how a man should treat a woman, how a man should treat a female, by showing how I love her, and by showing how I love my wife. To my son, I'm showing how he should treat a female, by showing my love to my daughter, showing my love to my wife, and showing him that how I should be treated as well. You know what I mean?
Mm.
How a man should be treated.
Right.
And there's just so many different roles. And my 2-year-old, my 1-year-old, he doesn't understand none of that yet. So he's just being happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's just chilling.
So
Yeah.
yeah. when we break it down, man, it's just like uh, it's a constant search. Balance is a constant search. I never got it, and if I do have it, it's only for a split second, and it's gone. And then
Mm.
I'm back searching again, trying to figure it out. But I can never let it get to me and frustrate me. You know, if I need to call audible and I need to, man, I just need to be with my wife and kids right now. I'll take a day off from training. You know, the thing about living your dream, man, is like I said, it's 10 times harder because it's not just, okay, I don't have to do nothing. I can train whenever I want. I can, I gotta make training a priority because there's people out there who want to beat me. People out there who aren't even my opponent yet, but they might have their eyes on me. Who
Mm.
knows? So I gotta stay responsible. I gotta keep training. It's just a constant balance. There is no real answer to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just an everyday search,
Right.
So whatever you're trying to do, uh, as far as training, podcasts, your job, and your family, wherever you are, that's what's real at the moment. When you're at work, you're at work. When we're doing this podcast, man, we vibe and have this conversation. That's it.
Yeah.
When you're with your wife and kids, man, nothing else matters. Wherever we're at, nothing else matters.
Yeah. That's well. I mean, enough said, pretty much, and well
Yeah.
said. Uh, I share the same thoughts as you. In terms of like balance and everything, and it's funny you said that. I said the answer. I'm a dummy. Uh,
No, hey,
no,
a
yeah,
lot of the times, a lot of questions that we have,
yeah,
we answer them ourselves without realizing it.
yeah, yeah. I'm not. Again, I like I said, I just wanted to have a conversation because I'm not good with questions. First of all, I wrote down all these questions, sure, but I would rather just bring up stuff with you and talk to you about things just to
Yeah,
get your perspective, like I asked you, and get your philosophy on life and all that, because that's what
yeah,
I look for in these
yeah.
conversations, man. Um,
Well, there's no such thing as a wrong question.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I mean?
mm,
We're curious about what we're curious about.
yeah. I have what is the word I'm looking for? Uh, I guess it's an insecurity I have that whenever I form a question, I'm like, wait, is that the way I wanted to ask? Again, it's just silly. I'm being silly.
hey, hey, I got something, a thought that might help that out because for a long time I thought the same way. Being a teacher as well, I would be unconfident. Like, all right, am I saying this right? Are they understanding what I'm saying or what I'm trying to ask of them? Or, you know what I mean?
Mm.
Uh, and then I realized no one does. And it's not no one's fault. The people are going to hear what they're ready for. Again, that uh, if there's 5 people in class and I tell a story, I just told 6 different stories because everyone hears something different.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Everyone heard a different story based off what they're going through at the time in their life. They might have heard some parts of my story louder than other parts.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Plus, the story that I'm telling you limited to my vocabulary. My knowledge and my IQ and my vocabulary, the way I'm able to express it. A lot of times, like we have things in here, but expressing it, we're limited. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So a lot of times, by the time it gets from my mouth to your ears and then processed, it's already different than what I already said. You
Right.
know, so people are gonna hear what they're ready for. People are gonna hear what they want to hear, and we have no control over it. So ask away or say away. You know what I mean? With
Yeah.
confidence,
Right.
because you say what you say, the way you say it, and however whoever takes it, we just go from there. You know what I mean?
Right. It's a constant struggle I deal with my wife in terms of communicating with her, because sometimes I may say something to her and she didn't get it, and
Yeah.
our relationship, our marriage, whatever, it's awesome. It's just sometimes when I say something, she doesn't understand it, and
Yeah.
then she'll like assume that is that, and I'm like, no, that's not what I meant. It's my constant phrase or whatever my comment that I have to say to defend myself.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I know what you mean. The um, uh, you mentioned teaching. I wanted to ask you about that too. How how does it like? Did you just recently start teaching? Because I don't know if you were teaching before.
um, no, I've taught probably for about uh 10 years.
Oh, word. Okay.
Yeah, because what even though I was a student and I wasn't a teacher at the time, whenever new people would come in, I was always willing to give a helping hand and
Ah,
help
yeah.
them with their understanding as far as my understanding was.
Right, right. So you
Yeah.
weren't like a teacher like the instructor there, but you were still like in that aspect a teacher because you were helping out.
Yeah.
When did you're an instructor now though, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so like when did you start doing that? Like when did you become the instructor? Are you wait again? I don't know if you're an instructor. This is a stupid question, but are you the instructor for CSA gym? Because when I look
Uh
at your videos teaching, it looks like it's some other kind of gym, and I can't tell. I don't know if you're doing
oh yeah,
seminars.
I teach at CSA as well as another gym closer to my house.
Oh, okay.
Because the gym that I'm CSA is about an hour away from where I live, and the other one is close to my house. And one of the reasons why I teach there is so my wife and kids could train as well, because they can't make it out to where I'm at all the time, but they can make it to the place that I teach at.
Right. Oh, that's cool. And how do you feel about teaching versus like the fighting? Like, how can you when you compare the two? Is there a difference? Well, I mean, clearly there's a difference, but I mean, is there a difference of perspective and love, and you know what I mean? Like when you're
Uh-huh.
fighting, you're in the game. I know, I'm pretty sure you love it, but is it the same with instructing, like helping out other
Um,
people?
it, it has its unique. Um, they're similar, but in their unique way. You know
Mm.
what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, like I get enjoyment from both. The high is different, but uh, I enjoy. You know, I can't say I enjoy one more than the other. I'd probably say I enjoy fighting. You know,
Yeah.
uh, because I'm in there and I'm in the high of just the quick adjustments and just the game. I love it, but I also love teaching because I can break down the game. And the funnest part for me in teaching is when things actually click. With the student, I actually see them like doing what we worked on, or uh, getting creative and coming up with their own stuff. Nothing too wild, but putting together their own game plans and actually trying to grow. I love seeing those things.
Yeah.
And from teaching, I became a better fighter because I've had to explain certain techniques or certain reasons for why I do things uh, in ways that I've never even thought of. You
Right.
know, I've had to break certain things down in ways that I've never had to break them down. But by breaking them down, I understand it a little bit more.
Um. Please forgive me. I
So,
forget your coach's name from CSA. Fuck. But
Kieran,
yeah, thank you. My what was that question? I just had it in my head and it just slipped because I was worrying about his name. I was like, oh, I forgot his name. Um, wh- is he your coach for Muay Thai fights? Because I saw the recent one I watched. It was what's his name? Damien.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he's my coach. The only thing is, CSA, we're so active that he can't be everywhere.
Oh
I
yeah.
We had another fight before my fight was even uh, set in stone that he had already committed to. You know,
Yeah.
um, and of course, he talked to me and made sure it was cool that that he wasn't going to be able to make it, and that we communicate and stuff. But yeah, he's my coach.
Okay. Yeah. Again, a silly question. I just want to get perspective because again, Instagram you only see so much, and
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not really I'm not good at researching things. I try and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't want to.
Hey, me neither.
Yeah. This is the irony of
Yeah,
that because I remember I looked up a couple things. Oh, how to do a podcast, and they say, oh, always research the people you interview, and it's like, why can't I just get to know them? Why can't I just have a
yeah,
conversation
yeah,
with them? Why do I gotta like
yeah,
stalk them before I get to, like, you know what I mean? If I know
yeah,
them
yeah,
and I invite them, it's different. You know what I mean? I only know
yeah,
you by Instagram and watching some of your fights,
yeah,
but I like to ask questions and be curious about from just this conversation.
yeah, yeah.
Um, so the other question I had, since you have experience, instructing and fighting, cur- Kyrian, does he? I don't know if he has fighting experience. Does he?
Yeah, he has fight experience, not at the uh prestige that I've fought at.
Yeah.
Um, you know, the only thing is back in the day, there's just so much more available now. You know, back in the day, it was around his time. Uh, it was like karate fighting.
Mm.
Karate sparring and stuff like this. Points. Uh, but yeah, he has competition experience.
Okay, I was good because I was gonna ask because I wanna. I love Muay Thai, dude. I love Jiu Jitsu as well, but I don't know. I have this. And I know you know what I'm talking about. That I just want to go in all the way as far as I can,
Yeah.
and that's why I want to fight. And it's like I'm just nervous because part of me is nervous. Of course, I know it's normal that I'm 31 and I'm like, am I too old now to try to, fight this young man's game? But at the same time, I know there's a couple fighters here in Philly that this one guy, he's 35 years old, he has kids and he's fighting still. So it's like, okay, but is it too late for me to try to get some fight experience while I have a job? It's like I'm trying to be realistic with my dreams, like you mentioned,
Hmm.
because I just don't want to do something that I don't know. I don't want to say I may regret because I don't like to say that. But you know what I mean? Like I want to. I don't know if it's worth it to get fight experience. I know. Wait, that's a dumb question because I know it is. Fuck, I'm trying to get to the right thing. Do you know what I'm talking about though? It might
um,
basically when you get fight experience, is that worth? I'm answering my own question. Sorry.
no, that's good, man. That's good.
Yeah, I'm being silly because I'm thinking too much now about this question. I'm just gonna ask, I guess, to let you answer it.
Yeah, yeah.
But I want to become a fighter just so I can become a better teacher. I'm 31 years old. I have a job now. I have kids I have to take care of. Is that unrealistic of me to want to do that?
No,
Okay,
no.
simple.
Um, the thing is, you do what you want.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? You make
yeah,
that choice. You do
right.
what you want. If you want to do it, do it. You got to make a decision.
Of course.
You want to do it, do it. If you're second guessing, then don't. Whichever one you choose, you got to fully commit. If you're gonna do it, do it.
Yeah,
Now that doesn't mean neglect everything else, um, like your job and your kids and this and that. Um, but there will be some struggle there. You know what I mean?
hmm,
But you'll find a way if
yeah,
it's something that you really want to do. If you don't want to do it, then make that decision and that's it. You can't look back. You can't because the what if will kill you. It'll eat you up.
yep,
Man, what if? What if?
yep,
No. If you made the decision to not, then you gotta stick with that.
right,
Don't second guess. Man, why did I decide not to, or this and that? No, you made that decision because the what if will kill you.
right,
Um, when I worked a 9 to 5, I had my wife, I had my kids. Um, I worked 2 hours away from the gym. So uh, on my lunch, I would go run. Um, there was a time where I worked 2 hours away from the gym. On my lunch, I would go run. When I get off work, I drive 2 hours to the gym and train. When I worked overnights, I wasn't getting paid for these fights either. These are amateur fights. I worked overnights at Walmart. I would train from 3 to 9, work at 10, work from 10 to 7, go home, sleep a couple hours, spend time with my wife and my kids, and just same process every day. Sometimes on my lunch, I'd go for some sprints or go for a run. But anytime I had to work towards what I wanted, I was doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's there's little times that we can grab. There, there's 24 hours in a day. No matter what I'm doing, I can find time to grab uh to work towards what I want.
Right.
Work towards my dream. Instead of being on Instagram, or instead of watching YouTube, or instead of, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Instead of
Instead of
bullshitting.
doing something, yeah, instead of bullshitting, I'm doing something that's gonna add to to the goal that I'm trying to work towards. And that's only because I really wanted it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this is what you have to do,
No, I know. Yeah.
because if you don't want to do it,
Yep.
it's just gonna be a burden. You know,
Word.
if becoming a if getting a fight is a burden, you're not gonna you won't perform to your best, and you might disappoint yourself even more. You know, if
Mm.
it's something you truly want and you can't live without, then you'll find a way to do it, no matter what. There's people doing more with less. You know, in
Yeah.
any situation. Whenever I feel like, oh man, I don't have the proper tools, the proper resources, the right amount of time to do certain things, I always tell myself that there's people doing more with less credentials, less experience, uh, yet they're still doing things that I wish I would have done.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a lot of that shit. It's like I get in my own head, man. Like right now, uh, I was supposed to fight in March, but then it was like there's one of those, those tournaments, and
yeah,
then I changed it to May because my shoulder got fucked up, and I was like, I'll try May, and hopefully this thing is good.
yeah,
And then I'm like, wait, I got a job. What if I get injured? And I was like, you start to make excuses to
yeah,
back away from
yeah.
the thing that you want to do. And you're like, fuck. Uh,
And they're all valid.
yeah.
They're all valid. They're
No,
all
yeah,
true. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah,
If you get hurt, what happens?
right.
Man, people used to tell me that all the time. Like when I worked at a for a corporation. What if you get injured? You know what I mean? If I didn't get injured on the job, like they're not gonna take care of you.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
What if you get injured? What about your kids? This and that. It's like, what about it?
Yeah,
Yeah, what about it? You know?
yeah.
Um, there's people that I know that have torn ACLs from construction. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Blown knees, uh, blown rotator cuffs, messed up shoulders from truck driving. You know what I mean?
Right.
These are both really good jobs. Uh, Truck drivers get paid a lot. Construction workers get paid a lot. Yeah, they may have medical and stuff, but it's like, if I'm gonna hurt myself, if I'm gonna, like, there's a chance of us getting hurt. Uh, I'm gonna do it doing something I love. It's gonna happen with me doing something I love.
I hear that.
Can't no one tell you nothing, because we all put ourselves at risk the moment we start the car. You know,
Mm-hmm.
nothing's promised. We can crash on the way to work. Someone can crash into us
Right.
on the way to work, or on the way from home, or just going down the street. You know what I mean? Anything can happen. If I'm gonna, it, if risks, if there's a risk on each side of the line, I'm gonna go on the line that I enjoy. I'm gonna do what I love doing with the risks. You know, rather than try to play it safe, yet still find myself at those risks from time to time.
Right. That makes sense, man.
Yeah. but it takes a lot of courage, man.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of courage to do these things. And to this day, I second guess myself. Like, man, are you sure you want to do this? Like you can't, again, it's an everyday routine like hygiene. These thoughts never go away. Uh, being scared never goes away. Being anxious never goes away. Uh, a lot of times people ask me, how do I deal with anxiety before a fight? You know, like the night of the fight while I'm in the back room. How do I deal with nervousness? I don't. I don't worry about it. The thing is, I'm grateful that I found something that has made me feel these emotions. Because a lot of times people spend their entire life trying to avoid uncomfortable situations, yet they're stripping themselves of feeling these extreme emotions. You know, being extremely nervous,
Mm-hmm.
having extreme anxiety, being extremely scared. The thought of it is always far worse than the actual event. Then once we go through with it, we're like, oh, it wasn't that bad. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
glad I did it. Let's do it again.
Yeah.
Then it becomes an addiction. That's pretty much the process that goes through my head every single day. I'm just thankful for finding something that can make me vibrate at this frequency, you know what I mean, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Man, that's crazy. I'm telling you, it's like you don't read books on this shit, do you? You just like,
No, I'm just I I know the inspiration comes from
you
but
hear
I don't
things.
read. Yeah,
Yeah.
I hear things and I hear them the way I hear them, but I don't read only because I don't have time.
Yeah.
Well,
I
not
know
because
you,
I
Matt.
don't have time.
I,
I don't make time. We always have time,
dude,
but
it's like you're. Yeah, sorry. I say the same shit. I always tell people you don't have. It's not that you don't have time. It's that you're not making time. But
yeah,
it's just funny you said that. Yeah.
yeah. But
That's,
I do listen to audiobooks from time to time since I'm always driving.
what do you listen to? What kind of audiobooks?
I've listened to
Can't
the
hurt
Book
me.
of Five. You said what?
I was joking. I said can't hurt me.
Oh, no, I don't know what that one is.
David Goggins.
Uh, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, just the Book of Five Rings. The Tao. Uh, I think I was listening to the Art of War, but I haven't finished it yet. But yeah, just whatever I can.
That's cool.
I'm just always looking for some type of enlightenment or learning or just knowing something that I don't know now.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
Yeah,
So yeah, because it's interesting how you said it earlier. That you just wherever comes in, that's what you adapt, and that makes sense to you. That's what I've been doing. But
yeah,
I'm trying to like read books now because I don't like to read, but I'm just trying to see what else is out there that I don't know,
yeah,
so I can try to make sense and try to talk to people about this shit. Everything you're doing
yeah,
is like perfect, man. Like nothing's perfect, but you know what I mean. Like everything you're saying
yeah,
is like this is what I want. I want people to hear you speak about
yeah,
everything you're talking about because you're preaching, man. You're preaching about
yeah.
the good
Thanks,
shit,
man.
especially coming from a person who is living, your dream.
Yeah,
You're in the moment,
yeah,
experiencing something that not a lot of people get a chance to experience,
yeah,
and you're good at it. So it's like it's wonderful that you have that mind of yours that is able to share all these thoughts so that
yeah,
people can say, "Wow, like the fuck." You know what I mean? Like if he's fucking thinking that, what the hell am I doing? And maybe they might
yeah,
take a lot of your knowledge and apply it to their lives.
yeah. The funny
Uh,
thing is, I've always thought different, and I've always thought I was weird because of it.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
same here.
The fact that I'm successful in my craft, uh, people want to hear this weird stuff now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like it
What are
gives
you
them a reason
doing?
to, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
it gives them a reason to pay attention.
yeah. Yeah, it's funny because I was talking to my wife about that. I said I'm not successful in this podcasting thing. I'm not. I'm not successful as a teacher, whatever that I want to do, all these things I want to do, and nobody's listening to me now because it's like, who the fuck is this guy? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, but one day maybe something might happen just the way it happened for you, and then it can just go back to my backlog and listen to all these things. Uh,
Yeah.
and
Well,
regardless,
I'll tell you one thing that'll help it change. That'll help you start to slowly turn that corner. And it's again going back to the law of attraction. Um, it's what we speak. Our our soul and you know energy. It don't have a sense of humor. So even though playfully we say, "Oh, I'm at that," or "I'm I suck at this," haha. You know what we say we attract. You
mhm,
know,
mhm,
there's a saying that goes, uh, whether you say you can or you can't, you're right. You know what I mean?
yeah,
As long as you continue to say you're not successful in being in podcasts or teaching or fighting, you're right.
right,
As long as you keep saying it, you'll be right. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah,
But uh, the fact that we're live right now, you're already living your dream.
yeah,
You
true,
know what I mean? A form of it.
right,
You know,
yeah,
uh, like I said, being successful doesn't mean that we're out in the public eye. If you like to paint and no one knows that you paint, no one knows that you like to paint, but you love to paint, and you're every day you paint inside your garage. You have so many portraits that no one has ever seen. Um, you're successful because you're doing what you love. It it's not the fact that we have clarification from the mass that I'm the best painter. You know what I mean?
mm,
Or it's not the fact that uh, I've sold a piece for trillions of dollars. You know that amount to my uh, me being successful. It's the fact that I'm a painter and I love to paint. And the fact that I paint every day in my garage, that's what makes me successful. And by doing just me, one day someone might walk into my garage and just be like, "Oh my gosh." You know what I mean?
mm,
What the heck? Like,
right,
you are so awesome. You have a gallery in it, and then from there things will snowball, start making a lot of money. But that wasn't my intention in the first place, to make money. My
right,
intention was to just do what I love. Everything else just comes. You know what I mean? Right now you're whatever room you're in, even if it's a small room, even if it's a closet, that you're doing your podcast out of. That's your garage that you're painting out of, and you're doing what you love, so you're successful. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And the conversations that we're having, it's organic. You could have went and did your research, um, but in my opinion, you'll just be asking me the same questions that everyone else has been asking me,
exactly, yeah,
because everyone does their research.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So in my opinion, you're successful.
No, thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure.
Uh, it is it's funny because like I said, we define our own success. You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah,
I'm happy to every day that I get to exist doing this, and sometimes I do solo podcasts, like because I don't have anybody to talk about the subject that I want to talk about. So I'll just fuck it. I'll just record it and just start just talking. And
yeah,
again, the little voice in my head, but nobody's listening. So why are you doing it? And I'm like, well, first of all, I like doing it. It's fun, okay. And
yeah,
then second of all,
yeah,
somebody may watch it and it may change their life. Somebody. And if it's
yeah,
my kids, if podcasting and all this shit's still here, 10, 20 years from now, then shit, they get to see my 31-year-old self talk
yeah,
about the shit that I know nothing about. You know, my mind is gonna be so much different when I'm older. Who knows if I'm gonna be here? That's another
yeah,
thing I think
yeah,
about too. You know, we like you said, you don't know how long we're gonna be here. So
yeah,
it's like that's another reason why I like doing this shit.
yeah,
It's like a documentation of our our like you said, like this is actually being creative. A lot of people
Yeah.
don't think about podcasts being an art form.
Yeah.
You talking and putting all your words into this video and into this sound and this audio format is all, you're fucking, yeah, you're putting all these patterns from your mind into construction and forming all these crazy, not crazy, but beautiful thoughts that
Yeah.
can go into someone's mind and really change their fucking life.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
saying that, you reminded me that, yeah, I'm successful right now. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. What the fuck am I talking about? Like, so
For
again,
sure.
you have your little brain telling you you're not, and then all it takes is for you to share your
Yeah.
mind and change my perspective on things.
For sure.
Yeah, man. I didn't want to hold you too much, but we were almost 2 hours in, and I
Oh,
felt,
okay.
yeah. So I didn't want to like. I also had to pick up my wife too from work.
Yeah.
I didn't
Well,
know we
time
were.
flies when you're having fun, man.
Yeah, man. I didn't realize we were gonna talk this long too. I thought you were gonna have to go and shit, and I was just all like being silly, like, oh, I gotta
Yeah,
like.
it's good, man. It's
Yeah,
good. This was fun.
yeah, cool, man. I appreciate you so much, man, for coming on here and sharing your mind. And
Yeah, no doubt. Anytime.
yeah, man. And real fast, you can share whatever you want to share as far as like your Instagram or any news, anything you're doing now that you want, the people that's gonna listen. Most likely, is gonna be your fans that's listening to this.
Yeah.
Um, and people that I have that may want to be interested in listening to it. I know a couple people that I train with are gonna want to listen to it. But
Dope.
anything you want to tell them right now is your opportunity to speak your mind or whatever.
Um, Probably just as far as news goes, I got a fight coming up in May, in San Jose for Bellator. It's gonna be my MMA debut.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. Uh, I'm not expecting too much. I'm just expecting to go out there and do my thing, and try to find my rhythm and just flow. But if you guys can catch that, stay tuned for that. I'm training hard.
And what's your Instagram handle?
It's Eddie Abasolo show, underscores under after in between each word.
Right.
Eddie underscore Abasolo underscore show.
And you're gonna put all that stuff out there, like your
Yeah,
your MMA fight and all that.
yeah. I'll keep everyone updated through Instagram.
Cool, man. And I saw something else you guys were doing in is that like a reality show or something, or
Oh, the Wimp to
I
Warrior.
don't know if you're allowed to talk about that, but
Yeah, we're like, it's just people coming in and wanting to do something different. You know what I mean?
mm,
Sort of like your situation, how people have thought about fighting or have wanted to fight for a long time, but just didn't know where to start or or how to start, stuff like that. Because they compete. It's a 22-week program. They compete at the end of the program if they would like. They could either do MMA. They can. It can be modified to where they just roll, but they're gonna compete some way, and it's just getting proper training on seeing how a fight camp goes. You know what I mean? Learning as well as learning a lot about themselves.
right, right.
What they're capable of.
And that's gonna be on a network or just YouTube or something?
I think it's gonna be on YouTube. I don't think it's gonna be on a network. I could be wrong.
Oh, okay.
Um,
But
but yeah,
either
people will
way,
be able to watch it.
yeah.
I believe on YouTube.
Okay, cool. Either way, you're gonna have it on your Instagram, and I'm pretty sure people are gonna
Yeah,
find out. I was curious about that because I saw that. I was like, oh, it's interesting. Cool,
yeah, it's
man.
pretty cool.
Thanks again. I appreciate you coming aboard, man. And best of luck on your fight, man. That's awesome that you're doing an MMA fight.
Thanks, man.
I'm like,
Appreciate you too. This was fun.
yeah, thanks,
Anytime,
man.
man. I'd love to do this again.
Oh, cool. I'll let you know. I'll hit you up again sometime, and we can talk about other things that you want to talk about.
All right, cool.
All right, man. You have a good
All
night.
right, bro.
Enjoy yourself.
Yeah, you too, man. Thanks.
All right, man. Peace.
Peace.
I hope you guys really enjoyed that fucking conversation as much as I did. I loved it. The man is fucking awesome at what he does within his mind and with physically speaking in terms of how he trains and how he fights. And I really hope that I'm getting better at my craft here as a podcaster. I'm hoping that this becomes a thing that can really do great things for people. And if that works out for you, if this episode really was something that you enjoyed, please feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel or follow me on Instagram or any of my other social media platforms. You can find me anywhere, pretty much. William Knows Nothing. I have most social media platforms. There's a video format of this, of course, and I'm trying to improve little by little. So please feel free to leave a review. Feel free to share with your friend or your friends or whatever. Anything that can help put this out there. I appreciate you. But anyway, you guys have a good one. Value life, value time.